Turkish Airlines Euroleague. I feel devotion.
In this episode, we have all the action from Turkish Airlines Euroleague regular season game day 2. The future stars introduce themselves. Germany is going crazy for basketball while it was an emotional week for Šarūnas Jasikevičius. And we catch the MVP and top 3 plays of the week. Of course, our game of the week is a main event, and it's always a huge pleasure to walk around Belgrade, take a deep breath, and experience the wonderful basketball atmosphere in a city that was poised for the clash between Partizan MTS and CSKA Moscow. But before we talk about the game, there is a story to tell. A 2.5-meter, 20-year-old forward is what you call a big basketball prospect. And we all know that there are few places in the world that can compete with Partizan's ability to develop young talent. It's easy to understand why the club decided to bring in the Latvian Davis Bertans, who's an amazing shooter despite his low percentages in last season's Euroleague campaign with Union Olimpija Ljubljana. Bertans joins a real basketball community, but in the past he has often taken inspiration from his own family.
I think the first big influence was my father, who was a professional basketball player too, and after that my brother first started practicing, and of course he was a great example for me, even in good things and bad things also. And growing up I was just looking at him and trying not to do the same mistakes again.
Davis is young, but he has been through a lot, not only in terms of basketball but also in life. If you take away a string from a violinist, then that musician will be unable to reproduce his magic. Well, Davis is playing without a finger, but he still manages to be a reliable and formidable long-range shooter.
I was like 12 or 13, I don't really remember now, but as I told, we were living in the countryside, a small town, and my grandfather had a manual heating system, so we had to cut wood for that. And my father and brother, they were putting the big parts on the big electric saw, and I was just taking the small ones off. And it started to rain, I started to rush, and somehow the glove was a little bit too big and it got under the saw, so it pulled in and I lost that finger.
The story of Bertans may be tough to hear, but he's showing incredible determination in carving out a promising career as a professional basketball player. Watching him hit nothing but the net is a real pleasure.
In basketball you use only, most of the time, for shooting you use these 3 fingers, so that's the main thing, that I have those and it doesn't really matter. My surgeon said you're gonna see after a couple of years when you're gonna play and everybody's gonna know that you don't have that finger, they're gonna come to me and ask take it off. I wanna shoot like him.
There is always an intense atmosphere at the Pioneer Arena, and even this time round the fans were not disappointed with the performance of their team. Partizan led by 7 early on in the game, thanks to another very talented young player, Leo Westerman, who scored 8 of the first 11 points for his team. Ettore Messina's players aren't expressing their best basketball at the moment, but they have enough experience to handle tough situations, even on the road. Zoran Ecik's sure aim and the impressive efforts of Sonny Weems then gave them the guests a double-digit lead in the second quarter, but the best was still to come. Partizan fought back, and our good friend Bertans was part of this comeback, along with teammate Dejan Musli, a former Euroleague Junior Tournament superstar. With the long-range shots of the Latvian and the work in the paint of the centre, the hosts forced the game to overtime. The classy plays of Weems and Teodosic eventually decided the contest in favour of the guests, 71-76, making it 2 wins out of 2 for CSKA, while Partizan, despite a valiant effort, are still waiting for their first. CSKA's American forward was the outstanding player of the game and also the BWIN MVP of the week.
This is a winning program, so start 2-0 in the Euroleague is a big positive for us. Hopefully we can keep it going.
He scored 30 points on the night, with 10 for 14 on field goals and had an index rating of 38.
My teammate was looking for me to call a lot of plays for me. and I just happened to score the ball, and I'm glad we got the win today.
Bertans is just one of the brilliant prospects we'll admire this season. In Euroleague history, many young players have been influential, some of them in winning titles. Matias Smodis was only 22 when he won with Kinder Bologna in 2001, as did Juan Carlos Navarro the following year with Barcelona. Ricky Rubio was still a teenager when he was the starting point guard for Barca and triumphed in Paris in 2010. Last season, Kostas Papanikolaou, 21, was one of the main reasons in the unbelievable success of Olympiacos. Real Madrid have not won the European title since 1995, but once two-time Euroleague rising star Nikola Mirotic is around, they will have a good chance. Papanikolaou and Mirotic are well known, but the Euroleague is able to introduce new, interesting, promising faces every year. They have all got the right talent, but most importantly, they have got the right approach. Listen, for instance, to Asseco Procom's guard, Mateusz Ponitka, class of *93.
I don't feel any pressure because, you know, I'm focused on my goal. I want to play as good as I can. I want to be as good player as I can be. So that's the point, and I'm working hard on practice, and the results will come.
After a promising debut at Chalon in the opener with 13 points in 18 minutes, Ponitka played another good game despite the defeat against Unicaja Malaga 77-75. Mateusz is currently the third best scorer for his team, playing only 21 minutes per game. He's not a star yet, but he knows how to make it.
Full of energy, the heart, and you know, the devotion.
If you say youthfulness, you say Union Olimpia Ljubljana. Here, the idea of bringing through future talents is not only a tradition, it's a way of life. Every season, the Slovenian club launches the careers of a number of new talents. This year is no different. Jaka Blažić, 22, talks about what sets them apart.
We are a young team, so we run all the time. I think, we are more attractive, if I can say that. We play very fast break oriented basketball, so we will work on this, and of course we have to be good on defense.
After the win at Cantu last week, Union Olimpia had to face a Final Four contender, Fenerbahce Ulka Istanbul. The green troop of coach Filipovski fought until the last seconds, but it was not enough against such a strong team. So the Turkish powerhouse won, but only by 6 points, 81-75. However, a number of young guys had the opportunity to show what they could do once again. Jaka Blažić scored 9 points, while Klemen Prepelic hit double figures with 13. In a team like this, even a 21-year-old such as Sasu Salin becomes a leader.
If I look at my age, no, but now when I realize the situation, it makes me some kind of like one of the leaders. So I don't take any pressure of that. Just try to play.
Sasu is setting a good example to his teammates in order to make them better players and guarantee that Ljubljana improves as a team.
For myself, I should be more consistent. So just try to play every game as high level as I can, so it doesn't go like roller coaster all the time.
At Lietuvos Rytas Vilnius, there are two other interesting prospects who came from a very close area with the same tradition for young talent. Croatian centre Leon Radozovic, 22, and Serbian guard Nemanja Nedovic, 21, are getting precious playing time in Lithuania. Their team could not survive the unstoppable consistency of FC Barcelona Regal on Thursday night, but they proved that they can go toe-to-toe with the bigger names of Euroleague. Radozovic scored 11 points and is hitting a double-digit average after 2 games. Nedovic is doing well also, and has almost a double-figure average too. Travelling around Europe, we crossed Nihat Djedovic's path. The 22-year-old Bosnian guard is currently playing with his third Euroleague team, Alba Berlin, after Barcelona and Rome. You will see that the 90s and Germany have more in common than his talent. Let's skip back briefly to that period. The decade when Germany won its first European trophy, Alba Berlin hoisted the Korach Cup in 1995. Back then, one of the greatest stars ever, Dirk Nowitzki, was starting his outstanding career at Würzburg. Another century, another era. Now Germany introduces two teams to Europe's most prestigious competition, more than 10 years after the last time. It was 2001-2 when Opel Skyliners and Alba both played the Euroleague. During the following seasons, many great teams fell in Germany. Even Olympiakos against Brose Baskets in 2010 and Panathinaikos last season. Now, it's no strange thing to see the big European clubs signing up young German talents like Tibor Pleiss and players with a renowned pedigree like Bostian Nakbar moving to the Bundesliga.
I know I'll have a bigger role. The team that I know, it's a championship caliber team in its country that has a lot of positive energy, and Bamberg is one of those teams for sure. So I think I made the right decision just because I want to be somewhere that I play a lot, that I play a big role, and that I help the team achieve even bigger roles, even bigger things.
Alba and Brose Baskets are most definitely the league leaders in terms of enthusiasm and attendance. Sasha Obradovic won the Korach Cup 17 years ago as a player and is very familiar with the atmosphere in Berlin.
I really believe that, on the end, we will be, happy one more time.
The O2 World Arena houses 15,000 fans cheering on their team. This venue hosted the 2009 Final Four, and attending a basketball game here is always an unforgettable experience.
The number of fans, of course, makes you believe that, you have, a very good sixth player behind you.
The crowd here always acts as a sixth man, just like in the game against Airlines Chalon. Alba produced a 21-2 run in the last quarter to eventually grab a 74-71 success.
The Alba fans are so numerous. We have the biggest average of fans in all of Europe. They're so numerous. Even when we lose, the O2 Arena is full. They always support us. They have chants. They even ask us questions how they can help us better, and they really make us to a strong home team.
Alba's start has been perfect, 2 out of 2.
For me personally, I don't, think too much, in advance.
A basketball game in Germany is always something special, but in Bamberg it becomes even more special.
There's an attachment there, I think, with the fans. They really feel close to us, and we feel close to them. They support us. They come out every night, 7,000, no matter who we're playing, and that's one of the reasons they're the best fans in Germany, and I think some of the best fans in Europe too.
This week, Brose hosted convincing newcomers Besiktas. The energy and the enthusiasm of the crowd were not enough to defeat the Turkish champions, who stunned the home team with an amazing 58% on three-pointers to easily win 86-71. After losing at Regal Barcelona in the opener, this is a very tough start for the German champions, but it won't change the way the fans will support the team.
We know they're going to support us. It's going to be a full house every game. Well, basketball is sport number one in the city. I think everybody loves basketball here, and the city was successful. The fans call themselves freaks because they come here to the gym, they get fancy, they get dressed. It's always a loud arena here. I think the loudest arena in Germany, definitely. So the city lives from basketball, and the basketball gives the good name for the city. So it's like, I would say it's like it goes hand in hand. So I think, like I said, Freak City is the Bamberg, and Bamberg is Freak City. So especially in Germany, Bamberg is known as a basketball city.
Deutschland über alles? The biggest stars agree. Talking about Germany as a member of the Euroleague top 50, is his geography as good as his basketball skills?
Berlin is somewhere up north, somewhere over here, and Bamberg is somewhere in the middle.
Of course, Regal Barcelona's point guard Sarunas Jasikevičius knows where Berlin and Bamberg are on the map. He has already met Brose, and he will come up against Alba later in the competition.
This is for all the Germans. Okay? I know you like box over there in Germany.
Sarunas Jasikevičius is one of the all-time Euroleague greats. In the second week of the regular season, he returned to where his professional career started, Vilnius, in his native Lithuania. It was an emotional occasion for Saranas, who had two spells at Lietuvos Rytas. The first in 1999-2000 marked his professional debut following his college basketball experience overseas. From there, he was on the road to legendary status, joining Barcelona 2 years later to land the first of his 4 Euroleague titles in 2003.
And Jordi, winning the Euroleague was something very special. I mean, this club has waited for a long time to try to win the Euroleague, and when we finally did it in 2003, it was, such a huge thing here for the city, for the club, and it was really big, and it was my first Euroleague that made it even more special here with Barca, and it was just really an incredible memory.
Now 36, he's in his second stint with the Blaugrana after a journey around Europe. Saras has played for Union Olimpia Ljubljana, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Panathinaikos, Lietuvos Rytas again, and Fenerbahce. But now back in Barcelona, he is looking to stay.
I came here when I was 14 the first time, and I don't know, I've been in love with this city ever since.
Barcelona won 67-49 in Vilnius, but this will not be included in Jasikevičius' career highlights, as he only saw a few minutes game time. The big things will come later in the season, when Barcelona will look to his experience to count in the key moments of crucial games. Saranas knows the big picture.
I think the team is going to be one of the teams who has a chance, who has a legitimate chance to winning the Euroleague and some other titles. It doesn't guarantee you anything, but it looks like we're going to be right there fighting for the things. Basically, this was the biggest reason why I came back to Barca.
Saranas Jasikevičius has played 177 games in Euroleague basketball, and he is one of the pillars of the league. But the Euroleague is not just about iconic players. There are also some memorable games every week. In Tel Aviv, Maccabi Electra met Montepaschi Siena for the 12th time. 4 years ago, the same two teams met in Madrid at the 2008 Final Four in the first of the semi-finals. It turned out to be an unforgettable match. Derek Sharp, coming off the bench, organised one of the greatest comebacks in Final Four history, scoring 17 points in a game where his team was down by 18 in the second period. But this is only the most famous chapter in a long, exciting and ongoing story. This week's match turned out to be a tough and evenly balanced encounter. Siena took the lead from the beginning. Marcellus Kemp scored 6 of the first 12 points for his team, and Bobby Brown made a 6-point game at the end of the first quarter with an unbelievable 18-meter basket. Maccabi improved as the game wore on with a slow but relentless comeback. Malcolm Thomas and Leo Eliao dominated the seam under the boards, and Ricky Hickman produced a phenomenal performance in the second half. Thomas and Victor Sanikidze slammed home some wonderful dunks as both teams matched each other all the way till the end. The eventual hero was Ricky Hickman. The point guard scored the layup with 4 seconds to go that decided this wonderful match. It finished 70-68 for Maccabi. Istanbul, where a piece of history has recently been written and where Olympiakos fans enjoyed the best day of their lives. The last thing that an Olympiakos player managed in the Turkish capital was the fantastic basket of Georgios Printezis in the last Euroleague final. The team from Piraeus has won the last 2 games in Efes's backyard, and both in exciting fashion. 93-85 after a thrilling overtime in January 2010, and 67-65 last February, with Kostas Sloukas scoring the only 2 points of his game with 2 free throws and 16 seconds left. Anadolu Efes dominated the game last Friday to make a big statement. Oktay Mahmuti's side bounced back after their defeat in Milan, inspired by a marvellous performance of Jordan Farmer. Returning to Euroleague basketball, Farmer decided to join the very ambitious Turkish squad in order to get a chance to add a Euroleague title to his personal resume.
That's the plan. That's why I came here to try to win a Euroleague championship. And I know that, Efes has the resources. They're willing to do whatever they can to try to put the best team on the floor, and that's important for me.
Anadolu Efes knows that Jordan can fit in very well with the coach's plans to ensure the team has a true leader on the floor, the perfect go-to guy in the decisive moments of every game.
Coach expects a lot from me. As a player, I feel I'm going to bring experience, excitement, something a little different, some athleticism, some shooting, some leadership. Just try to do all the things that I know that I can do and that I've done so far in my career, just bring it in, try to gel with everybody and make it fit well.
The point guard finished the game by almost recording a triple-double, scoring 25 points, including a perfect night on three-pointers, grabbing 8 rebounds and dishing 9 assists. It was too much for Olympiacos, as the reigning champions were sent reeling in a 98-72 blowout. Caja Laboral Zalgiris is usually an exciting game between two teams who have written the Euroleague history. They hadn't met for 2 years until their meeting at the Fernando Buesa Arena. Zalgiris managed the 77-71 victory, a successful hometown return for Kaunas' Spanish coach Johan Plaza, who can thank 2 former players of Liga ACB teams. Kreml Dardan finished the game with 17 points and 5 rebounds. Rimantas Kaukenas added 15 in only 22 minutes. Now let's take a look at our weekly Turkish Airlines top 3 plays.
Number 3, Athens, Greece. Great team basketball by Panathinaikos. Mike Bramus collects the steal, and then Derwin Kitchen finds Kostas Tsartsaris for the slam. Number 2, Tel Aviv, Israel. Yogef Ohayon connects with Malcolm Thomas, who rolls off a high post pick for a wild tomahawk slam. And the number 1 play of the week, Tel Aviv, Israel. Bobby Brown from beyond midcourt, and it's nothing but net.
That's it for now, but before we leave you, let's look ahead to the next game of the week. In a Turkish Airlines Euroleague full of traditional superpowers, there's also a new challenger waiting to spring a surprise as Elan Chalon Susaon hosts Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv in the next game of the week. Fans at Le Colisée in Chalon have waited many years to see their team measure itself against the continent's best. And Maccabi certainly fits that description, having won 4 continental titles and appeared in 11 Final Four over the years. But in the Euroleague, you can never count out an underdog, especially an ambitious newcomer like Elan Chalon, which last season won France's first triple crown in a decade. Chalon's first Euroleague adventure is guided by Gregor Bugnon, the only Frenchman ever to coach at a Final Four, with Asvel Villeurbanne in 1997. Bugnon is now in his 10th year at Chalon, and loyalty is reflected in the roster too, where 7 players have been together for at least 2 seasons. All-around perimeter threat Blake Schill does what Chalon needs at any given moment. Point guard Steve Chikambu is equally adept at either scoring or passing. And forward Ilion Evtimov can hit 3-pointers as well as he rips rebounds. With those 3 leading the way, Chalon gave its fans a victory in the club's first Euroleague game ever. Now, Chalon must confront a Maccabi team whose experience starts on the bench with David Blatt, the recent Olympics bronze medal winner with Russia. Maccabi's lineup features Leo Eliau, author of the second most 2-point baskets in the Euroleague since 2006, and big Georgi Shermadini, the competition's 3rd-ranked player per minute last season. But Maccabi has plenty of new faces too, with rookies like Ricky Hickman running the offense and Malcolm Thomas dominating on defense. In this David versus Goliath matchup, one thing is sure. It will be a big night of basketball for Airlines Cholon fans as they welcome legendary Maccabi to Le Colisée for the next game of the week.
Turkish Airlines Euroleague.
I feel